Hi, my name is Eva Duvall, and I'm the past president of the Georgia chapter of the Huntington's Disease Society of America. Huntington's disease strikes 1 in 10,000 Americans every year. Every child of a Huntington's parent has a 50% chance of inheriting the gene. There is currently no cure for Huntington's disease. There are some limited treatment options now available and many research studies going on across the country, including the Center of Excellence right here at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. This tragic disease devastates families. And because of this, my family has made it our personal mission to strive for a cure. We are not alone in this journey. We have had so many family and friends, an outpouring of support from loved ones. Every time we tell our story, people reach out to find out what they can do to help us raise awareness and funding. My great-grandfather had Huntington's disease, and he passed the gene on to my grandmother. My grandmother was actually diagnosed at age 30. We all knew this meant that my mom had a 50% chance of getting the gene. So turning 30 for her was very difficult, very trying. She was terrified. Once she turned 30 and was symptom-free, she convinced herself and all of us around her that she was not going to get the gene and not going to get the disease. It was actually about the time I was 16 that she started doing strange, awkward movements. She was having unexplained outbursts, and she just wasn't herself. She actually ended up showing symptoms for years before she was actually clinically diagnosed in 1997. It was actually her sister Helen, who is a nurse, that actually was the one who brought it to light for all of us. I asked her one day when I was about 22 if she knew what was wrong with Mom, and she said, "Yeah, Eva, your mom has Huntington's." And I just couldn't believe it. It was like a brick wall had just hit me. I just couldn't believe that this was what we were dealing with. It was just complete shock and fear more than anything else. Most people that are at risk for Huntington's do not get the genetic test done. A very large majority of people do not. But for me, it was worse not knowing. For me, once I knew that Huntington's was what we were dealing with, I immediately wanted to be tested. So in 1997, at barely the age of 22, I was given the genetic diagnosis that I feared more than anything else in the world, that I was going to have Huntington's too. Learning that that test was positive was one of the most difficult days of my life. I just couldn't believe that this was happening to me. And after watching my mom have her onset, I was truly terrified knowing what was ahead of me. I actually have family members that are still living at risk for this disease, but it's not just my family that's impacted. In my journey to find a cure, I have met so many wonderful families, so many kind, loving, good-hearted people who are suffering the same tragedies. One mom that I met is actually watching all 4 of her children be symptomatic at one time. This disease devastates families, and that's why we all have to keep fighting for that cure, so that not only if it doesn't happen in my lifetime, it'll happen in the lifetime of my loved ones.